Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, it's getting worse. An alarming number of wounded pelicans turning up, and they have something in common, the same very specific and painful injuries. What wildlife rescuers fear is happening. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thanks for joining us here on News 6 Plus. I'm Lisa Bell. Ginger Gadsden has the night off.
And I'm Justin Warmouth. We're also hitting the road for East Orange County amid dozens of suburbs and sprawl off busy Lake Underhill Road. I spotted something pretty unexpected.
Everybody loves the cows. It's nice to see them out there, you know, with something that's kind of wild in the middle of the city.
Those cows are the only ones living on 40 acres of what looks like prime real estate. The trashy reason nothing's been built there, though one developer would like to try. Boomtown takes you to 32825 a little later.
But we start now at 6:30 as Kissimmee police investigate Madeline Soto's murder. There are new questions about social media posts by employees with a different agency. Someone with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office posted a crime scene photo. Another shared a selfie with the prime suspect in Soto's disappearance. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is pressing for answers.
Late Friday afternoon, Osceola County Sheriff's deputies discovered the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto in a wooded area. On the very next morning, on the official Instagram page for Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez, someone posted a photo that appeared to show a close-up view of the crime scene. News 6 has blacked out that image. But the photo caption, which reads, "Great day with our seniors," suggests the posting was unintentional. In a statement issued Saturday afternoon, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "Earlier today, a post was made on social media about a community event for seniors. In the post, an investigative photo was accidentally included. The photo was immediately removed. We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance this may have caused. As with any investigation, the information obtained is confidential, and any mistaken disclosures will be immediately rectified."
That could affect the investigation and prosecution of the case, the defense of the case, and it could also affect the potential jury pool.
News 6 legal analyst Stephen Kramer says the photo's release may prompt a defense attorney to try getting the trial moved to another location. And he says it could open Sheriff Marcos Lopez up to civil liability.
You've got a grieving family that's suffering, and you may see an argument that this photo, even if it wasn't intentional, the release was negligent. And as a result, you may see a claim for damages and a lawsuit result from that.
The agency has not disclosed whether Sheriff Lopez himself or another staff member posted the Instagram photo. That same morning, Sheriff's Office employee Nerva Rodriguez posted this photo on her personal Facebook page. It shows Rodriguez posing in front of Stefan Stearns, the prime suspect in the teenager's disappearance. The caption reads, "If God's love has been poured out over your life, don't allow evil to keep you away from what he has prepared for you." The post includes the hashtag Nerva Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the executive director of the Sheriff's Office, a civilian position that oversees several departments, including the agency's social media. The photo was removed from Rodriguez's Facebook page after News 6 began asking questions about it. Rodriguez did not respond to emails seeking comment. A Sheriff's Office spokesperson says they cannot discuss those Facebook posts made by Rodriguez due to, quote, an ongoing investigation. Mike DeForest, News 6.
And News 6 just received a statement from State Attorney Andrew Bain, who will be prosecuting this case. He said in part, quote, "I am deeply disturbed that the photos were carelessly made public. While I do not believe these photos will have any evidentiary impact on the case as of now, they were released in poor taste." As for the prime suspect, Stefan Stearns is the girl's mom's boyfriend. Detectives believe he killed Madeline Soto and then threw away her backpack and hid her body, which was found on Friday. He has not yet been charged with murder. He remains locked up without bond on sexual battery and child porn charges.
Now at 6:30, are you at risk if you have a fire? Well, tonight in the city of Winter Springs, more than 1,000 fire hydrants have not been inspected in almost 3 years. And the city can't guarantee they'll work when needed. Now, finally, the city is now starting to do the inspections. Now, we don't want to scare you, but the fire department has a backup plan. It promises will protect you, your family, and your home. But News 6 anchor Eric Von Aken is in Winter Springs digging into how this happened, how it's being fixed, and who's going to pay for it?
A couple of weeks ago, a dryer caught fire in that house, and the Seminole County Fire Department, as they always do, responded and hooked up to this fire hydrant. But the valve kept spinning. This was broken. It has since been fixed, but this is now the third fire hydrant here in the city of Winter Springs that has failed in a matter of weeks. Matt Reeser, you are the Public Information Officer for the city of Winter Springs.
Yes, sir.
According to the Seminole County Fire Department, these fire hydrants have not been inspected for at least 2 years. How does that happen?
Part of it's employee turnover. The other part is you have inconsistent plans previously.
I know the city of Winter Springs, we've covered this, has had a bunch of issues over the past few years. You lost the finance director, public works director, but inspecting a fire hydrant, which you're supposed to do under state law yearly, isn't that a regular process? How does that not happen?
You know, I can't speak to what happened previously to my coming here, or, you know, to Mr. Iftikhar, his tenure here.
The new public works director.
Correct. But what I can say is there are a number of new staff, and there is a job that needs to be done, and we're going to make sure it gets done.
The city now has a contract in place for $153,000 to inspect all of the 1,200 fire hydrants around the city over the next 5 months.
Correct.
But you're inspecting 1,200 fire hydrants because you're not sure if they work, or you want to make sure that they work.
We want to make sure.
Should people who live here be concerned?
I don't think they should. I think what they should understand is this is an issue that we're dealing with, and we're doing our best to make sure that we fix the problems that we encounter.
So until all 1,200 fire hydrants are inspected, this is the answer. Seminole County Fire Department is rolling 3 of these tanker trucks every single time to every single fire within the city to make sure that there is always plenty of water to fight the fire. They say they do this all the time in rural areas where there are no hydrants, and they also say it adds no additional cost to fight the fire this way. It doesn't slow them down, and City of Winter Springs taxpayers are not on the hook for this. The big question is, will the fire department hold the city liable for not doing these regular inspections? They say no, that is not their goal. Their goal is solely to get the inspections done and get the fire hydrants working so they don't need to do this extra stuff. In Seminole County, Eric Von Anken getting results. News 6.
Now, we also asked the state chief financial officer, Jimmy Petronas, if he plans to look into the lack of fire hydrant inspections in Winter Springs as required by the state. We will let you know as soon as we hear back. Well, he will play a key role in tallying the results in Results 2024. Just as early voting gets underway, we now know who will be Orange County's acting supervisor of elections. Glinton Gilzine will take over for the office formerly overseen by longtime supervisor Bill Cowles. Gilzine currently heads the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, the special taxing district appointed by the governor that oversees things like roads, power, and sewage across Walt Disney World's property. Gilzine will only be in charge of the office through January 2025. Voters will choose a new supervisor in November, and if Gilzine wants the position permanently, he'll have to campaign for the office. Now, Bill Cowles retired January 31st after more than 20 years in office. Back in December, he told News 6 he was leaving behind a well-oiled machine.
In Brevard County, the mystery surrounding injured pelicans deepens. A local nonprofit tells News 6 it has now handled 42 injured birds since last month. It's an update to the story we first told you about last week. The Florida Wildlife Hospital in Brevard County said they were dealing with roughly 20 pelicans with fractured wings. The director says the injuries are very focused in one area, typical of a twist-like break. Last week, News 6 reporter Brian Didlake spoke with the hospital's veterinarian who is worried what could be causing it.
When we're saying investigation, are we thinking humans are involved in this?
So we're concerned that there's some sort of human involvement and that it may or may not be any kind of malicious intent.
So the director worried that if it were a natural problem, there would be more trauma in other parts of the body. We know Florida Fish and Wildlife is also investigating. road warriors and anyone fed up with interstate agony, listen up. One of the top stories trending tonight on clickorlando.com is for you. Volvo is out with its annual ranking of 100 most hated highways in the United States, and Florida is home to 3 of them. Unsurprisingly, California freeways take the top 3 slots.
Also, not surprisingly, the road you are looking at live from our Department of Transportation cameras made the list. Yep, talking about I-4, especially around the hearts of Orlando. What might be a surprise, I-4 came in the middle of the pack, 45th worst in the nation, citing heavy traffic and frequent accidents. It was the worst highway in Florida. 34th on the list, US 1 running through the Florida Keys. Volvo notes it can become quite congested through there, especially during peak tourist season. That is an understatement. And the most hated highway in Florida, I-95, came in 12th in the nation, 12th worst. The thousands of people surveyed singled out I-95 in the Miami area.
So another top trending story is good news for country music fans. We're giving away 2 News 6 insiders 2 tickets each to see Tim McGraw. He is live in concert in Tampa on March 15th, and you could be there, but you have to watch News 6 at 6:30 for a shot at winning. Fortunately, you're doing that right now. So the next step, you must be an insider to enter. If you have not signed up, you can do it right now. It is free. Just head to clickorlando.com/insider. I love Tim McGraw. I've seen him in concert a couple of times. Such a good show.
I like it. I love it. That's also where you need to enter the key word of the day. So tonight, you will enter best friend. Good song, right?
Yeah.
Good song. You have until 5 tomorrow evening to enter that in the form online. We'll have the next key word tomorrow night at 6:30. Again, today's phrase is best friend. Now, unlike many of our contests, for this one, you can only enter once each day.
So good luck. Our third top trending story also involves some luck, some really bad luck. Tallahassee lawmakers are working on a bill giving you more rights to defend yourself in case of a bear attack. So some of you asked, how many times have black bears attacked people in Florida? So News 6 and Click Orlando's digital producer Anthony Talcott did some digging for that answer. FWC has 39 reports of what they call incidents of physical contact between a black bear and a human going back to 2006. The vast majority involve people who had dogs with them.
Not surprising there. That is true of the most recent local attacks as well. One in Pearson last November, the 24th. A dog was also involved in an attack reported in Bellevue back in April of last year. It's unclear how badly those people were hurt. Neither one made our newscast, and I guarantee they would have if we were told.
Yeah, that does not mean, though, we haven't seen plenty of bear encounters, some of them pretty frightening. We do have video from Volusia County. This was last September. Do you remember this? A woman went to walk her dog overnight when the bear, she just walked out, tried to take a swipe at them. You can see she ran back inside, then called for help. Thankfully, she was not hurt, neither was her dog. Now, most of these encounters are not violent, like this security camera video from a family in Longwood. Back in November, a bear was captured on security video stealing a Taco Bell Uber Eats from their porch.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. And then there was a Disney bear. You'll remember this one for sure. This one made headlines around the world when it was spotted hiding in Frontierland last September. Half the Magic Kingdom shut down. The News 6 investigators were the first to show how wildlife trappers caught the bear. The Disney bear was released into the Ocala National Forest.
I mean, if it's going to be anywhere, it might as well be in Frontierland, right?
It's fitting, right? And bear with us. You can find all of our top stories on the homepage of clickorlando.com.
Right now, we are counting down to the second Space Coast launch in less than a day, and it could be just minutes away.
Last night, they sent up the crew 8 astronauts and a cosmonaut from KSC. Right now, fueling is underway for a Starlink launch before the half hour is up. But Tom, there is a fog advisory.
Oh yeah, they're going to be launching around a big time fog issue. Take a look at what's happening right now. Rain is out there, but I think that's far enough away. I'll be back to pinpoint the rain, your rain chances, how thick that fog is, how long it lasts, and the dry days that we will finally get to for part of Bike Week.
I don't believe we'll see progress in this area in my lifetime.
Cows are the only ones living on 40 acres of what looks like prime real estate. Up next, the trashy reason nothing's ever been built there and one developer's unusual plan to clean up the mess.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Claremont, Gotha, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
In just a few days, we are hitting the road, taking our newscasts to you live from the zip code 32825. The past few weeks, we asked you about your concerns in your community.
No surprise, one of the biggest challenges for families there is affordable housing. Now, neighbors asked us about any new developments coming to the area as well, but 32825 is pretty built out. A lot of single-family homes there, but sandwiched in between some subdivisions right along Lake Underhill Road, we did find a vacant lot that has a billboard with a rendering of a new development. So I started looking into this and found the proposal is quite unique. On this 40-acre property along Lake Underhill Road,
Everybody loves the cows.
the cows are a neighborhood favorite.
It's nice to see them out there, you know, with something that's kind of wild in the middle of the city.
An uncommon sight in the middle of suburbia. But there's a reason this land has stayed undeveloped. You see, it was once a landfill, and there's still trash buried underneath. Vic Lovell lives in the Fieldstream North neighborhood right next door.
You can't just put even so much as an asphalt parking lot on that land without digging it up and putting soil where it ought to be, because you can't build on an old refrigerator.
And there's not just trash buried under this property. The county says it's also buried under Lake Underhill Road. That's why this section is elevated through here. They had to build it this way to separate the road from any trash that may remain. And yet one developer was up for the difficult and costly task of clearing the old landfill and bringing new life to the property. A mixed-use community called Fieldstream Village, featuring shops, restaurants, and 1,500 apartment units. The plan also included widening Lake Underhill Road to 4 lanes between Dean and Rouse, a solution neighbors have been waiting to see for more than a decade.
The county does not want to pull the trigger on any expansion of this street because there's garbage under it, and they would have to do it a special way, and it would be very, very costly.
I think these people deserve a good road that has traffic devices. That's number one. Number two, I think they deserve not to live next door to a dump.
When the developer Mike Wright took his ambitious plan to Orange County commissioners in November of 2022,
There is a solution. I think these people deserve better.
he was hoping the county would agree to pay its share to clean out the closed landfill, which it used in the 60s and 70s. Essentially, he'd foot the tens of millions of dollars it would have taken to remove the waste up front and then recoup the money over the next 20 or 30 years by keeping taxes fixed as the property's value went up. Commissioners were hesitant to back the unique financing plan.
Other taxpayers would make up for that cost since those dollars would be pipelined or directed just to the cleanup. Those services continue, and so it falls on the rest of the taxpayers of Orange County.
So the other taxpayers are going to pay for those services rendered to that property for the 29 or 30 years?
Correct.
After a 2-hour discussion, commissioners directed Wright to come up with a different financing plan, but nothing has been submitted since.
It's just very unfortunate because I don't believe we'll see progress in this area in my lifetime.
So the developer Mike Wright, I've been talking to him. He told me Fieldstream Village has been on the back burner. He's been working on some other developments across the state that aren't as complex as building on a former landfill, Lisa. And he said he might revisit this project because of our interest. He said, I haven't really been thinking about it. He might even fire up negotiations with the county again, but he also said that it's a different time. Economically, a different time as well. It's different from 2022, being able to get the funds needed and also the investors lined up as well to sort of foot that bill to remediate that landfill and build what he wants to build. But we'll see.
It seems like the county certainly is still open to reviewing plans and doing something. And I interviewed Commissioner Uribe recently, and she said the county should play a role in dealing with that landfill.
Yeah, it all came down to the financing plan, which was super complex, but they didn't like that. They didn't like the other taxpayers of Orange County basically paying for the services that the people in that community would need, fire, police, things like that. And so that's what the holdup was. So we'll see if it ever makes its way. I mean, to hear that he has at least a little bit of an inkling to bring it back or at least look at it again is promising.
Some interest. Yeah.
And we want you to stop by anytime between 4 and 7 p.m. to meet the anchors and share your stories with the investigators. We are going live from Rio Pinar Golf. You also have the chance to get your hands on some new 6 swag. Gotta love that. Again, we will see you this Wednesday, March 6th. The next launch from the Space Coast could be lifting off in just under 5 minutes. SpaceX made that announcement late this afternoon.
Yeah, they announced they are sending up another round of Starlink internet satellites. And you can see the live countdown feed is coming into us from SpaceX Mission Control that we are standing in front of right now.
Foggy, though.
So this would be SpaceX's second launch of the day. Just after 5 our time, it sent up 53 tiny satellites for customers around the world. So this ride-sharing mission lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California.
So here is another live look at the feed from SpaceX. Yes, it is rather gloomy out there. I mean, it's just been foggy. The fog is blanketing really the entire east coast of our viewing area. Right now, liftoff though is set for 6:56 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Fog?
You know, they don't like clouds. My thought is they probably are going to launch it. I don't know if they're going to let that call it off.
And then look at this, though. I mean, a beautiful shot from our port cam at Port Canaveral, where you can see the fog in the distance right there. But all through, well, there we go. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
I don't think it's thick enough,
to
be triggered.
I don't think they'd be loading the vehicle with what was that? Okay. Well, anyway, they wouldn't be loading the vehicle with fuel if they weren't going to do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to launch because I don't think that the fog is thick enough to shoot right through it and not trigger lightning. You never want to shoot through clouds because you might trigger lightning, but I don't think it's thick enough. I think they'll launch.
Okay, we'll
see what happens. I'm going to start weather. If they launch, we'll go to it. We'll let you know. Take a look at radar right now. All is good on radar. We've got A couple of little lone echoes down here through part of Polk County right here. And then we got these way offshore. So I really think they're going to launch the rocket. I really, really do. But check out the visibility. This is what we were just talking about. Visibility in Daytona Beach is 1 mile. 0 visibility right now in New Smyrna. The Cape, 1 mile visibility. Cocoa Beach, 1 mile visibility. Melbourne, clear as can be. 10-mile visibility there. And 10-mile visibility all across the interior, depending on where you are. Fog tracker for tonight. All will be good as we go into the evening. Hold on, let me back this up real quick. Right now, we're looking at totally covered up by 11 o'clock tonight. And then it all kind of blows inland. But along the coast, it should linger a little bit longer tomorrow. Much of the area is burned off by 9, but by noon tomorrow, still lingering fog right along Volusia and Flagler County. So in the meantime, just know it's very foggy on the coast. Here's Daytona Beach. I think we're looking at the boardwalk. I guess that looks like the boardwalk to me. They zoomed in on, turned the camera down. Normally we shoot out over the boardwalk down toward the Crab Shack. I think they just pointed it straight down. That's not Main Street. I think it's the boardwalk. Temperature readings right now dropping through the 60s tonight in Daytona Beach. Temperature reading at the moment is 63. Downtown Orlando's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful night in much of Central Florida, 75 degrees. And temperatures all across the zone holding in the 70s and 60s. Here's our weather maker off the coast, and here comes the moisture for tomorrow. They tell me they're about to launch this rocket. Let's check it out. We think it's
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Power and telemetry are nominal.
Vehicle is supersonic. Max Q.
And back chill.
Nominal trajectory.
Go. Stage separation confirmed.
Well, there you go. Rocket launches. Everyone's the same, but everyone's different. This one was very different. Very different. Launched in the heavy fog. I've got to believe from across the interior, all your photographs that come in are going to look the same. But at the launch site, that's going to look weird. All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Here's our pocket of low pressure off the East Coast. Our big moisture and our big trouble is all going to be coming in from the West Coast during the overnight tonight, through the day tomorrow. Come with me now to the hour-by-hour breakout. You'll see how things happen. Here's tomorrow morning by noon. Little bitty pockets of rain developing, but heavy storms, boom, them. Erupt right along the I-4 corridor by about 5, 6, 7. They all wash back out toward the East Coast, and then lingering light stuff comes in behind that. Wednesday, we're still marginal for severe, but it's looking more and more likely like the biggest stuff will be from Orlando down to the south and the east on Wednesday, and then drying for Thursday, Friday. Overnight lows tonight, 60s all around in Orlando, 64. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Daytime high tomorrow, low 80s. Rain chances getting pretty tall as the day wears on. Come look at the week ahead. 82 is your daytime high on Tuesday, 81 on Wednesday with rain chances at 70%. Dry for Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend comes with small rain chances creeping back in. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more news.
All right, before we go, another update on that rocket launch that just happened moments ago. Through the fog, everything looked pretty good. Another batch of Starlink satellites heading into orbit from SpaceX. Here's a live look at the rocket right now, and it's separated. That means the first stage booster is headed back to Earth to land about a minute away from that. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep up and you know, you can watch that on clickorlando.com, though, because we're streaming that entire launch and the whole sequence on Click Orlando. But it did surprise us that they were going to be able to go. But, you know, they know better than us when it goes through that fog. And it didn't seem like that was much of an issue because everything went without a hitch.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. You can stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you back here tonight at 11.
Good night.